Hello and welcome. I'm Adri Gregan, and I'm back for Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Today we're hopping into episode 9 of season 1, and last time we continued this, what it looks like it's building out to be a three-parter, and before it's part 4, part 5, and it's the rest of the first core, but I believe the first core is actually rather long. I think it goes for like almost 16 episodes, if not more, so I got a feeling we've got a little bit more on our hands for the rest of this core than Aura, though we certainly do have Aura, and looks like we're going to meet her properly this time, this episode for the first time, and we're hopefully going to see why her signature armament is Scales of Justice. I theorized that it could either be that she believes herself to be like an executioner, like you have been judged, humanity, and I am carrying out your sentence, or it could also be a way to disarm humans, to confuse them, since she's holding up what should be a symbol of good. Now, obviously that depends on when she acquired it. She's obviously quite old, so I'm leaning towards something like the former, or it could be something else entirely, but we haven't met her fully yet, so it's hard to really give much of a guess on it. Though just from her demeanor and the way she talks, she is clearly going to be quite an interesting character, and I can already tell that if she is kind of a one and done character, I'm going to miss her quite a bit because she looks like a lot of fun. But Frieren is confronting her now, and Frieren has made the declaration, admittedly not in front of Aura, but that she is stronger than Aura. Is she stronger than Aura and her seemingly army of the undead? I guess we'll just have to see. Now, one thing that's a little bit less up in the air is the other side of what's going on right now. We've got Fern and oh my god, why did I blank his name? Fern and Stark, who are facing off against the other demons. I don't remember their names. At least I don't remember the girl's name. The obviously the main executioner is Lugner, and he lost an arm, but he doesn't seem too worried about it, so probably just regens. And I assume we're just going to get these two fronts playing out this episode. Again, in before it's half an episode, and just like the dragon, and the second half is a slice of life. I wouldn't put it past Frieren to do that, but it feels like we've got too many moving parts, too much to resolve to not take at least another full episode to do it. But whatever happens, I'm really excited for it. I've been officially and completely sold on demons, and I'm excited to see what they do with it. And yeah, I'm not gonna like throw out any crazy predictions from here on out. We're just gonna hop into the episode and see what we've got. Now, real quickly before we get started, if you do enjoy the video, please do leave a like. It shows me that you enjoyed it, and it shows the algorithm that you'd enjoyed it, so it'll show it to more people so they can enjoy it too. Same thing with leaving a comment. If you want to help yourself out, subscribing lets you get notified whenever new videos come out. I release Frieren 3 times a week, so I'll be catching up to season 2 right as it ends, like that same day. So yeah, if you want to join me on this journey, subscribing is the best way to do that again. But leaving all that YouTuber housekeeping on the side, let's finally hop into Frieren season 1, episode 9. Let's see what we've got in this first like proper mini arc. I suppose you could say second, the first being with Stark, but it's the first like multi episode one, since Stark was kind of the latter half of one episode and the first half of the next episode, so it was really just an episode long. This is the first one that's like, it's been going on for at least an episode and a half now, so it's really interesting. Surprising absolutely nobody, Frieren is just as capable handling the longer arcs as it is with the episodic vignettes. Though I've got a feeling that Frieren's not really going to struggle against Aura. This is another thing I've noticed about the show is it's shaping out to be very much like a One Punch Man deal. Not exactly, obviously. Saitama just resolves things by punching. I think Frieren will have to struggle a little bit more, but this is clearly not building out a show where Frieren is wrong or is like not strong enough or really has many lessons to learn at all. She's more a vehicle for other people's development. So I'm kind of expecting maybe less of a One Punch Man and more of an Overlord, if you've seen that. Overlord Season 1 especially, where the enemy just gets to exposit and talk about themselves before Frieren finally finishes her off. But who knows, maybe I'm downplaying Aura quite a lot. Maybe she'll actually give us a run for her money. Frieren of the funeral, Soso no Frieren. Translated a little bit humbly, let's say. And that's one line I didn't really process last time. She's one of those geniuses. Which implies that even when Frieren was a child, she was still incredibly skilled. I wonder how skilled, though. How much of this is talent and how much is hard work, because geniuses work hard too, right? At least most of them do. It's a close one. That's for sure. Yeah. Well, she's a little busy right now. Yeah, he's already on it. Don't underestimate my man Graf. He's very clever. During my grandfather's rule, 80 years is a awfully long time. And now back to the present day. So what exactly happened? Did Aura get away, or did she revive? Yeah, that voice sounds perfectly right for that face. Sometimes you can just tell. Oh, the CG. So unsettling. Dang, they got some force on them. But of course she's unfazed, because of course. Do you know? Why don't I entirely believe you? Puppets. Figured. She's got such a head of hair. Well, it's her one spell, right? The one she's devoted her whole life to? Or are we gonna see that the stages of destruction are different? I don't think they are, though, because Zoltrak obviously Qual focused on that one, so I assume hers is this marionetting skill. Really? Oh. Scales of obedience. Okay, here we go. It's the reason. Oh. So why is that a scale though? Her own soul. Oh, so her soul and her target. Really? That's really interesting. And then she gets to use them after death. Kind of like JJK. The more risk, the more reward. Have more mana. But does Frieren? That's the real question. She must, otherwise she'd just use it. So Frieren's biggest win condition is to just get a hold of the scale and just hold it. I assume that's how that works. Yeah, otherwise she wouldn't still be here.
本当はあったんだがな。意志の強いものは一時的ではあるが抵抗ができた。
Interesting.
鋼の意志は鍛え抜かれた英傑ほど持ち合わせている。
それでも一時的か。
だが致命的な欠陥だ。奴はその意志が邪魔だったんだろうさ。だから断頭台のアウラは
She kills them first because they don't need to be alive. That's why they're all headless, because she heads them. Ooh. Oh, that looks beautiful. Ooh. Is she like severing the ties? Interesting. Dispersion. Figures Frieren would be the first. But do you know how much she has? So does it measure like their total amount or the amount of mana they have at the moment? Because if it measures how much she has, then she has to be wary how much she uses, right? What does it matter what he said if he's gone? Demons really are just an extreme version of elves, or a Frieren. Thematically, of course. I had a feeling that's where that was going.
神父様、ここは安全なんだよな。
ええ、防護結界ほどではありませんが、この教会にも結界が施されています。
That's good.
じゃあ伯爵はここで待ってろ。
クソガキ、お前何するつもりだ。
クソガキ。
こんなところで隠れていたら魔族が帰ってくれるのか。
Going back out there, finish the job. You guys can do it. I believe in you. I don't know how, but you guys are clever. Yeah. I don't doubt that. But now you've seen how he fights, so it's not exactly the same. And besides, you're still good at hiding, so you could probably get the jump on him again.
いや、フェルンは衛兵の詰め所に行け。町の人を避難させるんだ。
Yeah, it's not happening. He's not going to face them alone. I mean, you're strong, but...
全力で土下座してフリーレンを連れ戻してくれ。
That sounds about right. Blow pan out. As they just get distant from him. It is, it is. It's a lot easier for him to do than trying to fight those two alone. I forgot this really bad feeling it's gonna come down to. Hmm.
どうした？
腕、ひどい状態ですね。そんな姿で縄文を通れるんですか？
大丈夫だろう。このくらい戦士なら普通だぜ。何か変なの？
両手血まみれで街中歩いてる戦士なんて見たことないですよ。
It was the first time for
人のこと
everything.
言えねえだろう。フェルンだって。あ？これ誰の血だ？俺の血じゃないよな。
Wait, they... Oh, right. The blood's on them.
おい！どうしたんだ？
Mm-hmm.
シュタルク様、この力魔力が。
Whoa! That was great! From her perspective getting knocked back, that was super fun. Wow! Barely in the nick of time. I mean, they probably activated it because she caught on.
そいつは師匠の技だ。
Oh,
下手に動いた
アイ
せいで
センス。
急所を外してしまった。苦しめるつもりはなかったのだがな。
You did this to yourself.
何を驚いている？致命傷を負ったはずの私がここに立っていることか？それとも我々の接近を探知できなかったことか？魔力の制御による存在の隠匿など、君だけの才覚というわけではない。魔族なら誰もができることだ。
Yeah, and they're far better than you at detecting it.
似つかわしい行為だとは到底思えんがな。
Hardly fitting.
よく喋りますね。とどめを刺さないんですか？
Straight to the point.
ついでにいくつか聞きたいことがある。
That's our fern. Ugh.
それとも今すぐ死ぬか？
Ugh.
どうぞ。
Proposal. To the questions or the dying part? I figured the
戦士アイ
question.
ゼンの一番弟子です。
そうか。
Yeah, I mean, I guess no point not answering it, right?
かわいそうに。リーニー相手ではろくな死に方
Beanie.
はしない。
That's her name.
もう一つ。フリーレンはどこだ？
Killing your master.
この町から逃げましたよ。あなたたちが老番の衛兵を殺したせいです。
Hmm.
グラナト伯爵も言っていたな。衛兵殺しは罪が重いらしい。
極刑です。
極刑。あの女
Eye
がそ
for
の
an
程
eye.
度のことで逃げるものか。
That wouldn't be
奴は
enough.
魔族に強い恨みが。
Hmm.
魔族を殺すための魔法を自分の弟子に叩き込むほどに。
Her own student.
そんな奴が逃げるはずない。何か狙いがあるはずだ。
Ooh, not bad.
動かないでください。フリーレン様の向かった先に心当たりがあるんですね。
くだらんことを。
私を殺し損ねたというのは嘘ですよね。あなたは私にあの不意打ちの石返しがしたかったんです。
Really?
プライドが高くて傲慢で、未だに私たちを、フリーレン様以外を脅威とすら感じていない。だから私に隙を与えるような真似までした。
That's why you granted me an
この至近距
opportunity
離なら、あなたの心臓を打ち
to
抜
make
け
it a
ます
more even battle.
やってみろ。その前にお前の首が飛ぶ。
A magic Western standoff, huh?
フリーレン様、私はお役に立てていますか？
Well, you're not dead yet, so you're at least,
私は
well,
フリーレン
quite
様
competent.
魔法を完璧に扱えません。
Otherwise, you wouldn't be
そ
alive.
れは生きてきた時間の違いだからね。
Ooh,
フェルン
nice.
が私に追いつくことはないよ。
そうですか。
A little bit too low, though. It's a little bit
それ
odd.
はあくまで魔力や技術の話だ。私はよく魔物との戦闘をフェルンに任せているでしょ。
はい、今回も押し付けられました。
ごめん。
Force them.
フェルンが戦った方が早く終わるんだよ。私よりも魔法を打つのが早いから。
You fire them off faster.
小娘。
Interesting.
私は魔法に人生の大半を捧げてきた。
私もです。
As demons do. Though his life is a little bit longer than yours, I think. But the devotion is shared. Wow.
速度は
Because she fires them off quickly.
防御していなければ心臓を撃ち抜かれていた。
防御しましたね。
She worth your attention yet?
ですか？
Hmm. Perceptive too. That's our fern.
人生を捧げたというのは嘘ではなさそうだ。
Gonna take her a little more seriously now?
全力で叩き潰
Oh,
している。
you can already tell from the art, the animation is changing. Things are about to get serious.
しかし
Their turn for a little bit of dialogue? Or are they? Oh, they're already over. Oof. Come on, Stark. Come on, Stark. Oof. So many first-person POVs this episode. That one was better, though.
しぶといね。少しは楽しめそうだ。
Ooh.
魔力技術のコントロールも私の方がはるかに上。
I love the way she's walking. So careful. Wow, look at that. I guess this is our first proper battle between mages, isn't it?
小娘と私の間には比べるまでもないほどの差が。
And yet... And yet...
純粋に鉄でこの私に押されている。
Oh, the block behind her. Wow, she is learning well.
フリーレンめ、この小娘にどんな修行を叩き込
Don't give Frieren all the credit. Fern's squaring up.
収納線に持ち込む麻薬切れのやつか。
And just like Frieren, no expression. Really on both of them.
ダメだ。その前に決着。
Really? Jeez, Fern? She's gonna be a monster when she's an adult, isn't she? Oh, this OST is so fun too.
なんだよ、わがままだな。こいつ冒険しそうでしつこいんだな。
Oh, it's so fun. You getting frustrated? I love how we got 4 fighters in this fight, and only one of them is emoting like at all. Ooh. She knows how to use that thing. Ooh. Hopefully it looks like this was above the eye, so.
私は魔力を読み取るのが得意でさ。人が動いて
Reading mana.
体内の魔力の流れを記憶して。
So she copies. Wow. She's an imitator. I mean, that's, you can't be more demonic than that, right? That's what a demon is. They memorize and imitate. She's the personification of demons. That's so interesting. But that also limits her. It means if you go on the offensive, she can only use things she's seen before. We gotta find a way to take advantage of that. They're both thinking of ice and... Wow, she was tiny back then. Aizen gets around. Oh, the ground shattering. Yeah, but that should be perfect for you. You fought her all the time. Come on, this is perfect. You've seen more of his moves than she has. Come on. Ugh. Come on. You fought against him way more than she has. She's only seen him fight. Come on, Stark. Get back up. Gosh, this is bad though. I'd be surprised if he could even lift that arm after that. If you fall, you die.
そんなこと言ったって俺が師匠に勝てるわけねえだろ。
当たり前だ。俺はお前より強い。
Yeah, it'd be a shame for him if he couldn't win.
だが、お前はまだ負けていない。
You can't win, but you can
立
fight.
ち上がったからな。
And as long as you fight, you haven't lost. Exactly. Exactly.
強い
That's the
相手
spirit,
に立つ
Aizen.
秘訣を教えてやる。
Just keep getting back up.
何度でも立ち上がって技を
Because you
叩き
don't lose until you've fallen.
最後まで立っていたやつ
Rather, until you stay down. So as long as you don't stay down, you haven't lost. It's that simple. Yes, let's go, Stark. Let's see it.
味噌筋肉でできてんじゃないのか。
おとなしく寝てればよかったのに。もう負けたんだから。
He hasn't
まだ
lost
立っ
yet.
ている。それに思い出したんだ。
Exactly.
技はもっと重
They
か
had
った。
emotion behind them. These are just cheap imitations.
やっぱりお前のはただの真似事だ。
And it's not like she learns their fighting style, she just copies their
真
moves.
似事で引導を
You've
渡
got to
して
take
ね。
advantage of that. Find out what she's not using and use that to your advantage. Oh god. It looks so clean. This is gonna be a four-parter, isn't it? Wow, that was beautiful. And it's like fireworks of magic.
防御もなし。しまよったな。
Cold and calculated. Is he doing taking it so he can get a good hit in?
覚悟だったのにビビって損したぜ。
Yeah, now you're wide open too. Because they're just copying. Oh! Wow! What a strike!
ソルトラーク。
Oh! Just like that. Soul track. It's Bean? Oh my god, what an episode! That was incredible! And that was like our first like full episode, combat episode. Like we had the half episode with Zoltrak with I'm blanking on his name. It was like not Graph, I'm thinking of Graph, the other sage. We had like that half episode. This has like been the first like full episode, just not non-stop action, but just battles, and it's incredible because of course it is. So good. And I guess next time we've got Aura versus Frieren. There's no way they're going another full episode, right? This is gonna be like a half episode thing. There's no way this goes on for another full episode. Not that I'd mind, of course. This is an incredible arc already. And it's just an introduction arc for demons too, so there's so much more that's coming out.
エルフを皆
Spider.
はるかに強い魔法使いだから。
Powerful mage. I mean, what do I even say? Phenomenal episode. It feels redundant to say it because it's just always true. It's just a phenomenal episode from a phenomenal show. What do you want from me? Why am I even here? Why am I even here? I mean, it's exactly what we were promised, right? We were promised the continuation of the fight, well, the start of the fight between Frieren and Aura. We were promised ideally the conclusion of the conclusion with Lugner and Linie with the other girl, and we got them. And sure enough, Aura's not so gonna be so easy to deal with. And we learn quite a bit about Aura, finally. Makes me want to puke. And she's got exactly the personality you'd expect her to, right? Of course she does. I mean, with that kind of a face, that kind of a posture, there's only one kind of person who would wear those. And then we finally learn about the scales. The scales of obedience, which is a scale that measures her own soul and that of her target and weighs their mana against each other. That's so interesting. That's so interesting. I mean, I had a feeling it would be, I had like an option A, it was to make humans question it. Option B, it was symbolic of like her being the executioner. I had a feeling it would be option C, something I wouldn't expect. I didn't expect it to be like a full-on magical tool though, like with its own purpose. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, she's holding it, so it's not like she has any other weapons. So this is her weapon. I mean, she's a mage, right? And since demons only really focus on one thing, what else does she need? Why would she need a staff if all she needs is this? And it measures the mana of both people. Presumably, it measures the mana, or it takes in the mana of the wielder, and then measures it against the person she's chosen a selected target. So this pretty much tells us that Frieren has more mana than her. Otherwise, she'd just use it. Which also tells us that if Frieren can get a hold of it, then it's game over. I mean, it's pretty much promising that's how it's going to end up, right? That it's going to be, maybe not Frieren necessarily, but it's basically a Chekhov's gun promising us that she's going to have the scales weighed against her eventually. I wonder if it'll be Frieren. I assume it'll be Frieren. Or maybe it won't. Maybe everyone will just blast a hole in her, as we did with Lugner. But I guess we'll just have to see. And the fact that she kills them immediately because they can possibly resist, because we don't need her to be alive, or we don't need them to be alive. We just need their bodies. It's really interesting. I'm really curious to see how this fight will play out. You're all bloody. You're all bloody too. Wait a second. That's not good. And the Fern's just complete, like, straight face, utterly emotionless. I mean, that's just how Fern is. Like, pretty much the only times we see her with emotion is when Frieren wakes up early in the morning. But it's hardly surprising. Oh, and this is really interesting. This is really interesting characterization because it brings attention to a fact that something that I had a misconception on that was corrected in the comments, mainly that demons are biological creatures. They're not like creatures that are like formed just from mana and like we can't really compare them to biological creatures. Like they have urges, they have emotions, they are like monsters, they're biological. They just happen to be made up of mana, where we're made up of, bodily stuff, cells and stuff, fleshy stuff. And here we get interesting characterization. And it's surprisingly, it makes sense. And yet it's also really interesting how hard this is to piece together. Because demons are inherently imitators, they don't express themselves, or they rarely do. You don't get a chance to see what their personality is much as like, unless you peek beneath the hood, unless you piece it together from their actions, right? Because they're not going to express themselves, because they're going to express whatever is ideal for the situation. So in talking with like humans or with enemies, he's not going to openly speak in a way that's proud, that's arrogant, in a way that shows he wants revenge, that he holds grudges. And it's easy to think that he doesn't, that demons don't feel these emotions because they don't express them often. But they do. And we can see it when he's talking with Linie, like when they're kind of alone. And you can see it in the way he treats these lesser mages, right? In the way he kind of looks past them. His personality bleeds through, even though he tries to conceal it. And Fern makes him regret it. And we learn a second critical skill of Fern's. She's not only incredibly good at concealing herself, but she's very good at rapid fire, which we see she is incredibly good at and very strong too. And there was one more thing I wanted to... There's one thing I wanted to point out really quickly. This will probably be one of like the 5 times in the history of my channel that I criticize Frieren. I don't love this first person POV. I like it. I like it as an idea, and I like why they're using it. It's got a good intent. For those of you who are unaware, or it's first person POV, obviously first person POV, you're looking from the perspective of the person. This is used to emulate to enhance empathy, right? To literally put yourself in the place of them, so you can see from their eyes. We see it later also with Stark when he's on the ground, so you can feel that feeling of like groveling and like being on the ground and being helpless and being hurt, and it puts you in their place more than pretty much any other camera angle, any other shot could, because you're literally looking from their perspective. So I like this here because she's looking down, right? She feels inferior to Frieren. She's like, I'm not really anything. I don't really compare to you. I don't even know if I'm any good at all. I've survived this long, and she should feel more proud of that than she does. But we've seen this thread of lacking self-esteem pretty much since we first met her, and we can hardly blame her, right? Given her upbringing, given her life and her situation. So this moment when she's looking down, it's a generally good idea, and it's animated really nice, and it looks really pretty. It looks really nice. The only reason I don't like this one very much is because it's too low. We're not really looking from her head. We're looking kind of from like her chest. Like if she had like a little camera just on her, maybe not on her belly button, but like, yeah, just on her chest. And we're just like looking from below her navel maybe. And it's just too low. It doesn't quite feel right. So I really like the idea. It's perfect for her feelings of inadequacy. It's just panned a little bit too low. And this one is a lot better. That's why I like this one. That's what made me think of it, because this one, like, you really feel him like groveling on the ground. Here we are. So I really like this. I like how we cut to it, and like she looks fine. So we think, oh, the battle hasn't really gone on very long. So it's time for them to talk right before their fight begins. Before it begins like in earnest. And then we cut to him, and the tree's gone. The tree's shattered from his slamming into it. There's a crater. He's bloodied. He's not even holding on to his weapon. It's a great... Why does he keep doing that? It's a great reveal. And then we get this, and I really like this cut. I like this cut a lot more. I really like this one because it shows her basically over her shoulder looking at him. Then it shows over his shoulder looking at her. And then we get closer, right? We get closer and closer. So you see just her from her perspective looking at him, his perspective looking at her. And then we cut to here. So it's kind of signaling to you that we're from his perspective, but we just see the ground in this kind of like this blurry POV, because obviously he's incredibly injured. Then his hand comes out and his hand hits the ground, and it really puts you in that perspective, right? It really puts you in the perspective of just trying to like, it's like trying to push yourself off from the ground. And obviously it looks more correct too. It should maybe, I think it's fine. You can only see the forearms because they're not fully outstretched. So yeah, this is just a much better shot. And it also really well conveys the feeling, right? Just like the last one conveyed the feeling of Fern's inadequacy, this one really well conveys the feeling of just not having the strength, of needing to stay up. And then of course it pans up as he looks up at his opponent. His vision's still blurring because he's just out of it. He's barely getting to his feet. I mean, he's clearly got a lot more in him, and we see it later, but he's clearly not well, and it's a great shot to put us in his perspective, just see just how much just how difficult this is, right? We can't obviously feel their emotions, like we can't feel their pain directly. We have to trust what we see and like what we hear, what they present to us. So putting us in their perspective is really the best way, just to really let it set in that if you were in this position, you'd probably be groveling too, right? I mean, I talked about this, I don't remember if it was last episode or the one before, but I've talked about how like we have this, oh, if I were there, then ... right? If this were to happen, ... But you never know until you're there. And I think especially when you're watching a show, you can be like, hey, get up, come on. If I were there, I'd be getting up. But if you've ever physically exerted yourself and your body just doesn't listen, then you know it's not that easy. So in this case, this empathy is really important for establishing just how much grit and determination he has, and really how much you should respect Stark, because he's very much deserving of it. And then we finally learn I'll just call it Leany. I'll just say it's a nickname if that's not how you pronounce it. We learn Leany's little, her power, her singular power, which demons have. She memorizes the flow of mana inside a person when they move, and she imitates their movements. Just like this, slash swoosh swoosh. So I guess it's probably not like exactly like she's like a picture the brain. It's not like she's just captured, like recording their movements and just doing those exactly, but she can probably use their technique to a degree. She can do things she hasn't necessarily seen them do, as long as they kind of track, and probably memorizing or like reading the flow of mana allows her to do that, allows her to make those connections. But it's also inherently limiting, right? Because she can only ever do effectively what she's seen with very little degree of difference. She can't really create new moves. She can't adapt very well on the spot. She has a she has a limited toolbox, and she can use only what she can use. That doesn't seem to stop her very much, though, because she's incredibly skilled. And then we get to this, which is my favorite part about the episode. Val, have I fallen? Stand up. No matter how battered you get, you cannot fall. I can't beat you, but you got back up. Whoever's still standing at the end is the winner. As long as you keep getting back up, then you haven't lost yet. It's true, right? As long as you get back up. It sounds ridiculous, and I'm sure it sounded ridiculous to Stark when he first heard it, but when you really boil down a fight, or really anything down to it, like any sort of competition, I guess not any competition if you're like playing sports, as long as you're still standing, you haven't lost, but you could say even to that degree, anything that has physical exertion or even mental exertion, you only lose once you've stopped. As long as you keep getting back up, there's another chance. And it's not even competitions, right? It's life as a whole. If you get hospitalized and you have to sell your home, your car, and all, you have to liquidate your entire like life just to pay for the bills, and you feel like you've lost everything, and you're like 25, let's say, obviously you'll feel like giving up because you just lost everything. You'll never get that back. But if you're remembering that time as a 35-year-old and you're in $1 million house and you're looking back, in order to be in that position, that 35-year-old millionaire, what do you think you would have had to do as a 25-year-old to get there? You would have had to get back up. It's so much easier said than done, especially when you're crawling on the ground whether metaphorically or literally, but as long as you keep getting back up, you have not lost. You have not been defeated by an opponent, by life, by the fates, by God, by the devil, by whatever you want, whatever is you perceive as your opponent. They only win once you stop trying. Now, does this mean you can't lose? No. If you've got this great unsharpened pencil and your opponent has a flamethrower, you're probably not going to win if you just keep getting back up. You're just going to burn to death and it's just going to be painful. I would just recommend you run. But a lot of times we are only as outmatched as we feel. Oh, there's no way I'll get the promotion. The person who works at the cubicle next to me is so much better, faster. Oh, I'll never win this race. I'm exhausted and the people around me look fine. Oh, I'll never get the job. Look at all these people with their crazy resumes. Why try? Why save myself why not just save myself the disappointment and not try? And in that moment, when you give up, you've lost. Because even if your resume isn't as expansive as the other people, what if a small niche volunteering job you did is exactly what that employer is looking for? Or if it just resonates with them because they did something too. Is it biased? Yeah, but did it get you the job? Maybe it did. Oh, I won't get the raise. I won't get the promotion. That person's so much more qualified. But in what? What if other people can see something? What if your boss can see something you can't? I'll never win this race. I'm exhausted and everyone else looks like they're fine. They look like they're fine. You are exhausted. That's not a one-to-one comparison. As far as you know, they're about to trip over and die of dehydration. And if you give up, you'll never know. Going back to that 25-year-old who lost everything. It's so tempting if you're in that position to just want to give up. To just say, life took everything from me, it's over. But if you think about it, to go from nothing at 25 to having $1 million, let's say, at 35, that's $1 million in 10 years, $100,000 per year. That's kind of a lot. But if you look at things exponentially, like if you were to invest in the stock market or something like that, that's a much more reasonable goal, right? Maybe the first year you only need to make $1,000 in a year. That's less than $100 a month. I don't know about you, but I can make $100 in a month. And that compounds, but we don't see that because we can only ever live in the present. It's so hard to think about what 35-year-old you would have most wanted you to do now. Or if you're, I don't know if you're 50, what 65-year-old you would have wanted you to do most now, because we can't exist in the future. So it's difficult. It's very difficult. It's so much difficult than I'm making it sound just sitting here talking to my iPhone camera. But everything worth doing, truly worth doing, is difficult to some degree, right? Nothing worth doing is easy. So if it's difficult to imagine what 35-year-old you would most want you to do, then maybe you should do that anyways. Maybe you should do it because it's difficult, and that means it'll be worthwhile. Disclaimer, don't just do things because they're difficult. Don't try to climb Mount Everest in nothing but a Speedo. That's difficult, but it's not going to be worth doing. But within reason, right? It's difficult to not give up on yourself, to get back up. That's why it's worth doing. Because you haven't given up. Because you can't give up. The moment you give up, it's the moment you lose. It doesn't matter how outmatched you are, you have not lost until you are down. And you stay down. It's so obvious when you say it out loud, but it's just true. And sometimes you just need to hear something obvious out loud to really interpret it, for it to really for it to really sink in. And just like how I was saying, it's the reason you should keep getting up, even though it seems like you don't have a chance, is because oftentimes that's your own perception, right? And we see that here with Stark. He thought he was horribly outmatched because he saw his master in Linny. And he should. He obviously saw his master, right? Because she was using his moves. But she is not him. Him being outweighed, him being outmatched in this wasn't actually him being outmatched. It was his own perception. As soon as he realized, and he went for this move, as soon as he realized that Linny is not my master, all of a sudden, the goal becomes more achievable, right? It's all about your perspective. It's all about your perspective. If you don't want to go for that raise because you're looking at the best, most qualified person, you're comparing yourself to them, then you won't want to try. You'll feel discouraged. But if you look at the hundreds of other employees around you that aren't that top employee, all of a sudden your chances are way better, right? Again, with the racers, with the marathon, it's all about how you see it. So you just need to get yourself in the mindset that, yes, I might be outmatched, but I don't know I'm outmatched. There are elements that I may not be seeing. That's why it's worth the try. And he did. And then, sure enough, he was rewarded. Her attacks are weak. Not weak per se, but they don't have the weight that Aizen, the warrior, has. So he wins. Because he kept getting up. What a great message. A great message and a great episode and a great show. It's beautiful too. Beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna sign off here. I've said my piece. Anything else would just be me just staring up at this, just basking in how wonderful it is. So I'm gonna leave it off here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. If there's something in the episode that you enjoyed or something that I didn't bring up or something you want to bring to my attention, please do leave it in the comments. If you agree or disagree with something I said, something you want to build off of, again, I would love to see you in the comments and open discourse with you, or just heart it and just say hi. And yeah, if you really like the episode, then please do like it. It really helps me out. It helps the algorithm. Well, it helps me through the algorithm, and it just helps me show me you like it, which is great. It's encouraging. And if you want to get notified, yeah, subscribe. It's the best way to get notified as soon as new one comes out, 3 times a week. Thank you again so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And thank you to everyone who's left your comments, who's participated in this and made this a truly fulfilling experience. It's amazing. It's truly amazing building out this community and being welcomed into this community, the Frieren community. So thank you all. And until the next one, wherever I see you next, have a lovely rest of your day.